Hey guys, this is Megadude454, but you may call me Mitchell, and welcome to another Let's Play of Cladun X2. You'll just give me a moment. Just resetting the background music. So, this game was made by a little company called Nippon Ichi, the makers of Disgaea, which is a little-known JRPG, strategy RPG, really, that, well, let me put it this way, if you were to YouTube for this video, you would find it fairly easily. That is besides the point. This is going to be an interesting Let's Play, because this is a game I've not beaten before, and apologies for speaking over the wonderful soundtrack. I'm actually going to put it down one lower so you can still hear me. Even more blaspheming. It's going to be interesting because I've not beaten this game. I don't know all the optimal strategies. And there's an interesting little mechanic that if you've never played this game, excuse me, I will go ahead and share with you to enlighten you. But first and foremost, we have to press the A button. In this case, I'm playing this on the PC with an Xbox 360 controller. Press the A button, and let's start. And we will want our background music to be real. You can choose between real, which is, you know, actual instruments, and in this case on the title screen, you have vocals, or retro, which is very NES inspired. We're going to stick with real. Arcana's Cellar, a miniature world which sweeps in people from all corners of the world and confronts them with endless, deadly dungeons. That doesn't sound fun. This particular secret world, however, has no exit. We all excited yet? Once you set foot upon its soil, never again shall you see your homeland. I don't know if I'd be too flustered about that. Today, a new visitor has been forced into this mysterious, enclosed land. And who might that be? It's kind of up to your choice, really. This game, much like many other Nippon Ichi games, I believe, features a character creation system. First and foremost, in this game, you select your sex. I know that looks like a W, but that is definitely an M or F. We are a guy, so we're going to play as a guy. You get to name your character. My name, as you know, is Megadude454, but everyone may call me Mitchell. I am allowing you to do that. Then we hit our confirm button, which, okay. In this case, it's the start button. It doesn't use Xbox button indicators. It uses numeric, which gets a little annoying. Generally speaking, though, the A button is 1, B button is 2, the X button is 3, the Y button is 4, left bumper is 5, right bumper is 6, the select button is 7, start button is 8, and then left click in for left thumbstick is 9. I believe 10 would be right thumbstick, but I don't believe you can actually code that, unless my controller's just broken. We have our choice between a handful of classes. We could be a warrior. Abilities involve swords, blunt weapons, and spears. They know no magic. And their job skill is warrior. Sliding is prolonged. There's a lot of kind of English in here, so bear with it. And then if you were to press the X button, you could see kind of what it does, as well as a catchphrase, which is a general summary. Recommended for all beginners. Beginning weapon is a sword if you want to be a warrior. We then have the wizard, which uses black magic. The job skill is wizard, which pay SP debt faster. We'll get into what exactly that is later on. Makes a great sub-character. Their beginning weapon is a staff. We'll get into what a sub-character is as well, don't worry. The saint has blunt weapon, bow weapon, dagger weapon abilities. Use white-red magic. And saint, they have a chance to destroy undead, which literally, in this game, if you drop an undead to 0 HP, it does not mean they're dead. You actually have to, like, destroy them. And saints have a chance to do that. Ready to use white magic. Their beginning weapon is a blunt weapon. So far, we've really hit on novice player classes. The guardian abilities are blunt and spear. Magic is white magic. They gain a front shield bonus, a max of 39, which means when they hold a shield in front of them, they're much better with it. Novice players, bad status effects, talk to the Guardian. Beginning weapon is a spear. They have a Ranger. They use bows and daggers for their abilities. Magic is red magic. They have the Ranger ability, which means they move through grass, frost, sand. They move faster. It's for an intermediate player. And granted, marching through rough terrain. Beginning weapon is a bow. Merchant. I feel like that's kind of self-explanatory. Not exactly a great combat class overall. For intermediate players, they lose less gold upon death. They have some abilities. So nice for making money. They begin with a dagger. Then a sword mage. Swords, spears, and bows. Green and black magic. And sword mage, they use more magic abilities. For intermediate players, again, they can use elemental attacks. Our magic circles are difficult but powerful. We'll get into what a magic circle is. The beginning weapon is a spear. I love the Legend of Dragoon. I see myself placing into Dart's shoes. What is Dart to me? He's a full-blooded warrior. I choose to be a warrior. Speaking of which, you get to choose kind of how your character looks. These are all kind of just general prefabricated looks. You can customize this later once you unlock it. We're going to go with the hat and cloak. You can also change the hair colors specifically using these bumpers. Our blonde-haired equivalent, which is me, is kind of a very greenish blonde, which is not something we would want under normal circumstances. But I always did wonder what it would be like to have blue hair, so why don't we just make me with blue hair? You can also use the Y button to change your complexion, so you don't have to be a white man. You can be a Hispanic or an Asian, but we're going to choose to be a white man. Kind of limited range, if you ask me, but it happens. Then get to choose your conversation pattern. This is purely cosmetic. Of these, which do I like? For the sake of my lord, I shall not fear death, etc., etc. Today is a fine day. We'll go with the samurai. And I have been created. And yes, you can change how you look, your description, your dialogue patterns from the edit menu when you unlock it. And now we begin. You have been chosen. No, that's not good. I just fell out of the sky. And I'm naked, for all intents and purposes. Where the hell am I? As you can see, that's a monster. Ah! Did I surprise you? Sorry about that. My most noble name is Parchment. I'm the administrator of this land up ahead, a city known as Arcanicella. Impressed? By the way, do you know where you find yourself currently? This is a dungeon. If you continue onward, you'll reach the land of Arcanicella. But the dungeon itself is filled with monsters. It's pretty dangerous, man. You need to get some better equipment. Oh yeah, here, let me give you this. It's a gadget filled with cutting-edge technology. Get it? Because it's a sword. So, we're in the middle of a dungeon right now. To advance, you'll have to cut through the nest of monsters. Is your mission clear? I'll go on ahead to Arcanicella. See you later. If you survive. Bye. I hope to make a real strong one this time. I can't wait till that happens. Pleasant fellow, isn't he? Well, we have our basic attack button. We have a jump. We have a shield. We also have a run and a slide. If we use the block button while running. Swing, swing, swing. I believe there is... No, there is not. But generally speaking, the mechanics of this game are pretty straightforward. Really, all I'm going to be using for combat is a total of 3 buttons. Jump, block, and attack. As well as run, but I'll be holding that down, so it's not even a button. You can also use the L and the left bumper, I should say, and clicking in the left thumbstick to switch between these white squares with an X through them. We're not entirely sure what they do yet. We'll get into that later. Normally, if you were in town, the Y button would access the menu. While in a dungeon, the start button does that. The select button does nothing here. I believe in town it also accesses the menu. But for now, let's go ahead and get through here right quick. what we are fighting currently, I believe are... Oh, what are they? They're not goose or slime, but they're going to be our basic enemy. Oh, and in the field, you can press the A button while in front of something to interact with it. Generally speaking, I'm going to skip these tattoos. Yes, they're tattoos. I'm going to skip these tutorials because I can explain what they explain pretty much better myself. Like, one of them will explain that you can slide by running and then pressing the block button. And then a more advanced technique is to do this a lot. But we'll get into that once it becomes relevant, because right now it's irrelevant. You see that icon, or did you see that icon on the enemy, I should say. That was a door mob, which basically if you just defeat that monster, the doorway that they are guarding will open in this case. And this is an exit gate. When you enter it, you complete the dungeon. It's as simple as that. We gain 28 experience and 8 gold, and we need 61 more experience to level up. Man, that was our first dungeon. Pretty simple, right? And I mean, it wasn't really that hard when you think about it. I am terrible at women's voices. Ah! Would you happen to be a newcomer? Welcome to Arcanacella. You're gonna be my new friend, right? I'm so happy. Oh, sorry. Getting so happy for no reason must seem kind of rude. I don't know about that. My apologies. My name's Pecora. I live here in Arcanacella. Nice to meet you. Hey, so, like, there's all kinds of awesome food here? Like fruits, mushrooms, and stuff. So nice. I just love living here. Bunch of other residents here. Come on, let me introduce you. So, what's your name? I can't talk. I see. So your name is Mitchell, huh? Just like that great adventurer of legend. You know, the one who ended up being eaten alive by monsters and dying slowly and painfully. Well, that sucks. Oh, Motown is just a very wise man who knows everything in the world. So, naturally, he knows all about Arcanacella. Please, continue praising me. Oh, but let me correct you on one point. My extensive knowledge isn't limited merely to this world. It extends into many other dimensions. I guess the only thing he doesn't know about is humility. This is one of Arcanacella's subworlds. Arcanacella is linked to many dangerous dungeons. Anyway, if there's anything you're curious about, feel free to ask. Regardless of the topic, I'm sure I will have an answer. So is there anything you'd like to know? How the hell do I get home? You dare ask such a question? What a mean-spirited creature you are. I'm sorry? Well, listen, Mitchell. There's no point in searching for our way home. Oh yeah, there's another friend. Let's go! Okay. Ah, that hurts. Whoa. Alright. Lamb! You went into the dungeons by yourself again? And without a weapon, no less. Sorry, Pecora. I always make you worry. I'm a horrible friend. I just tripped and fell right at the entrance, too. Go ahead, yell and scream and swear at me. Okay, you're stupid, clumsy, brainless. Ah, thank you. She's really weird. She just loves getting yelled at. I can see that. Huh? Who are you? Ah, this is a newcomer. The name's Mitchell. Mitchell, huh? Well, welcome to the jungle. What? Oh, look at your face. You haven't realized yet, have you? I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but there's no leaving this world. You what? Once you come to Arcanacella, you'll never be able to return home again. Oh dear, the cat's finally out of the bag. Was I being too insensitive? I did it again, didn't I? Alright, I've made up my mind. I'm gonna write a 100-page essay on just how awful I am. Ah. Mitchell, there's only one gate you can go through. It's called the Moving Door, and it's how you came into this world in the first place. Well, it's gotta be my way out. But the Moving Door is neither an exit nor an entrance. It leads only to terrible, dangerous dungeons. Dungeons filled with terrible, dangerous monsters. Fighting monsters can get pretty painful. There's no real reason to go to the dungeons. In fact, I advise you stay far away. So Just forget about it. We can stay here, together, forever. Oh, well, if you insist, I can't stop you. Are you sure? Positive. You don't have to go. You can choose not to visit such a savage place. I'll head in there myself. After I take a little nap. Lamb, wait! I have to take care of your injuries. She says, frantically chasing after her friend. I can now visit a new dungeon. And you can access dungeons. So, yeah, welcome to the Hub City. Or really, the Hub Village, as it were. The Hub Hamlet? The Hub Shire. It has like 4 buildings. I'm going to call it like the Hub Shire. But basically, it has a graveyard. It has a tavern that we can't access yet. It has the residence house, which has a little secret. If you check here, something's up. You can actually find the monster book. We can finally see what these are called. They are known as peons. This one's good at making traps. That's it. These are going to be our common run-of-the-mill enemy. Anti-fire peon, and there's a lot of monsters. If you can see the little scroll bar next to the question mark list, it's not moving too terribly fast. And we've hit the bottom. And now we're back at the top. There are a lot of monsters in this game. Generally speaking, they're mostly reskins. There's about 5 different types of monsters, if I'm not mistaken. There's a standard type, there is a recolor, there is then 2 specialized recolors of that, which one is immune or resistant to an element, and the other is weak to said element, and vice versa for a different element. And then there's just an overall stronger version, and I think there's like one more that has the property of slowing you, or something along those lines. Generally speaking, there's quite a few varieties of monsters. You can interact with a lot of things in this building. Like, you could... I feel nauseous, probably because I'm looking in the rubbish bin. Yeah, generally speaking, you can interact with a lot of things in Arcanacella. There is a character down here. The name's Hyoji. I am a fine and respected figure in Arcanacella. Peons with less than 5 fame dare not speak to me. Select doesn't do anything. But yeah, if you check in the pause menu, our fame is 0. I'll teach you how to raise that. It's not that hard, actually. Over here, we have the equipment shop, which is currently closed. And we have a different shop here, which is also closed. Right now, the only thing we can do is enter a new dungeon, so I suggest we do that. Enough of the tutorializing, let's get straight into it. This is the first floor. Note we have a target time. This is our par time. In order to get fame, you have to beat that time. The number of fame you get is dependent on how well you beat that time by. For every second you beat it by is an extra fame you get. Now you can't just grind up your fame by doing the same floor, the same place over and over again. You have to do it once and try to beat your previous best. That's the only way you can increase your fame using the same level. Otherwise, you have to do it with several levels. Let's go ahead and start with Trial Island, Floor 1. Start. We're not going to go for the speed record this time. We're actually going to go ahead and grind, really. So we're going to kill everything here. You may notice that there is a decimal system with the damage. That's because we don't deal whole number damage. We deal in decimals. You could interact with those little creatures. They're called the Pios, I believe. And they'll give you some general advice about the world. You may notice as I'm getting close to the side, these are getting revealed. These are technically traps, though these are heal traps. So they're not bad. But do keep that in mind. Red chests? Yeah. Let me explain this really quick. Occasionally you will find chests in the dungeon. Red chests can only be opened once, and they contain a particularly unique piece of equipment. Generally speaking, if you see a wooden chest, that can be opened several times, but the red chests are a once-in-a-lifetime deal. And that's generally all you need to know about chests. You attack them to open them up. Yep. Here's part of that, like, different variety of, peon I was talking about. Note that that one was green, and actually hit for a bit harder. I don't think I've been hit by a peon yet. But over here we have a black one. Now this one I want to be careful with, being only level 1. It can actually, yeah, 12 damage can prove to be pretty bad for me. There we go. As I level up, that won't be as hard. Peons are still, like, standard run-of-the-mill enemies that pose, like, next to no threat, so you don't have to worry about it. But I'm still going to be very cautious around them. Anyway, we have now exited the level. We've completed our next dungeon, gained 60 experience, literally one shy of leveling up, and another 20 gold. Whew, what a relief. You seem just fine. You didn't even get a scratch, huh? That's a lie. You get it, don't you, Mitchell? I told you there was no need to go to the dungeons. When you enter a dungeon through the moving door, whether you fall down dead or go through an exit-looking thingy, you'll always return to Arcanus Cellar. Well, jeez, that's great. If you'd asked about that earlier, you wouldn't have to waste your time like that. I'm sorry, Mitchell. I went and told you a bunch of useless stuff, and it put you in serious danger. I'll make it up to you sometime. I'll give you a back massage or something. Ahem. Get a little friendly there. Oh, you're back. You look pretty confused. I guess I should mention that going to the dungeon wasn't a total waste of time. If you make it through one dungeon, a path leading to another dungeon will open before you. What's the problem? You homesick? Do you miss your home? I told you so. If you don't fight, you can't advance. I expect you to challenge one dungeon after another. I'm sure you can clear tons of different dungeons. But it's not like I can force you. I do like strong people, though. Ah, I bet you're thinking how tough it is by yourself, huh? Of course it is. But I know an interesting little trick. Want to know what it is? It's called a magic circle. It's the hip new thing around here. You've got to give it a try. If you want to try it out, come back here with a motivated newbie adventure. Until then, you won't be able to visit any new dungeons. You can manage new adventures over in that building. Just go and talk to the people working there. And the pub is unlocked. You can now create new characters, and you can now use edit mode. You can now view relationship diagrams and edit music. The relationship diagram will let you create relationships between characters. It has no effect on gameplay. It's just for your personal amusement, and music is pretty much the same thing. So yes, the game does not tell a lie. We can now enter the pub, which it's a big, spacious place. Primarily because we can literally, like, make 24 or so characters. Like, we can make a ton of characters. Generally speaking, if you want to make a new character, you don't talk, I believe. Yes, Love Gramps is not who you want to talk to. You don't want to talk to this guy. That guy is connected to the internet, which I believe this game's internet connectivity is, like, just gone. I believe if you want to create a new character, you talk to this individual. Nope. That is drawing. You? You want to change the name of the tavern? That's tavern naming. You. Yeah. This, you can create new characters here. Alternatively, you can just go down to here. If you want to edit anything on you, here. Edit music here. You can go straight to Hio's ship. You can open the monster book in here once you've discovered it. And you can go straight to dungeons in the pause menu as well as save. Which, speaking of which, I'm going to go ahead and cut this part off here. It has been about 22 minutes for this episode. Relatively, we're more looking at 24. And it feels pretty good to get back into the swing of things. So, I have to thank you for watching. If you'd like to see more of this, go ahead and, well, say so. Comment, like, subscribe, however you want to do things. And if this game looks interesting to you, I highly recommend you go ahead and pick it up. It's like, I'd say, $15 at most on Steam. Anyway, again, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. So until then, farewell.